What are we doing? Now, we also didn't play our absolute best lineup.
Hello, YouTube.
Because hi, YouTube. We didn't play our absolute best lineup because the crew had
you at all today.
3 games in a week. So they were trying to save some of their players if they could, because Charlotte's not good this season so far. It's so early. It's really way too early in the MLS season to be like, oh, this team, they suck. You don't know that yet. I mean, there's a couple teams that you're like, oh, you're definitely good, and a couple teams that you're the worst. But Charlotte definitely doesn't fit that. And soccer, especially in the MLS with the salary cap, is so wildly fluid.
Oh yeah.
More so than I would equate it more to the NHL, even to the NFL as far as parity. Yeah, they're just all over the place. So that's the hard thing about soccer sometimes, where it's like, oh man, how'd that happen? I'm like, well, they're playing that. Not that it's an excuse, but when those type of upsets happen, it's like, well, they took out their 3 best players. They didn't play in the game, and their left back is hurt. So it's like, okay, what other sport are you typically like? Yeah, we're not playing 5 or 6 of our best players out there today in an actual game that means something in the regular season. So,
right.
I mean, I guess percentage-wise, NBA does that, but for MLS, it's truly just like, hey, you literally cannot play that many games.
Yeah,
you will not be able to function. So, yes. Hello, stream. Tell us what you're angry about this week. I'd love to yell at. I can yell in third person, so. Just tell me what to yell about. I'll yell about it. This can be a therapeutic session. I'm already worked up.
We are you know how Key and Peele had their Obama anger translator? We are y'all's anger translator.
I like it.
If you're upset about something, even if we don't have a personal stake in the thing, we'll yell about it for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Fast food chain, changed something on the menu, or took something off the menu. Let us know.
Or added something that you think is not great. Like a Starbucks adding olive oil to other drinks for some reason.
What?
I'll do that.
What?
Wait for what I'm following. Yeah. I'll add that.
Josh, would you do me a favor, or anyone on YouTube land? Would you just see if the music is way overpowering? Not that we have it on during the podcast, but
I got you. It's balanced, I'd say.
It's probably delayed some of the
Feels like it's maybe double the volume of the vocals.
Oh, the music's that loud?
Yeah, music's quite loud.
Canceling stuff, whatever.
Yelling at having to watch the 4 of us pick out pickleball outfits?
No, I'm fine with it. But if somebody else has something just arbitrarily to complain about, we have offered to yell for them on the stream today.
Fair. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yesterday I bought a blue shirt to go with my white tennis skirt. Still white on the bottom somewhere, but yes. I'm branching into colors. I'm trying. I'm dabbling in colors.
Dabbling in colors.
Experiment.
Listen,
Josh, you've always You've always liked colors.
I'm down in the hottest freaking state in the world, and so I have to wear. It's light, airy, colorful. That helps keep me cool down here.
No, Josh. Gray, white, black.
Black?
You're wearing
Black?
No, you're wearing black right now.
That's
Yeah,
true. You are wearing black.
Yeah, because it's
true.
70 outside. I can wear black.
No,
when
it's
70
because
outside.
you're a dude, and guys just those are the 4 colors.
I know. You listen. I cannot
Yes.
survive. It's gonna be 105 in 2 months. With whatever humidity. You need other colors.
I mean, well,
Dark
other
green
colors, though,
gets
we've
an
been
honorable
those two
mention.
shirts since forever, so it's not like you're.
Yeah, because I'm dirt poor and I have the 5 shirts that I was given. This is a thrifted shirt when we were up in Millersburg.
Right.
And this was given to me.
Right.
So this whole thing, yeah, this is a $3 outfit.
Yeah.
That I will
I respect the heck out of that.
Because I'm poor. You guys and your fancy master's degrees. and your full-time jobs.
Josh, forget about that. It's still next shirt up on the pile. Which one's on top? And Colleen. That
I
is
mean, after
that
we
is
renovate or I don't know, reorganize.
renovate.
What's the right word? Decorate.
Rejuvenates.
Then we'll move on to
Reform.
outfits.
No, I do not wear outfits.
You
I've
will
never
wear- You
owned
gotta
an
wear-
We'll
outfit.
choose-
Listen, no. You
I've
will
never
wear
owned
outfits.
one. No, outfits aren't real. Aaron heard that. It's
Aaron's ignoring you. Although he
Oh,
I'm
well,
not
now he's
Johnny-
laughing.
Johnny,
You
did
can
you
guess
have
what
maybe
we're talking
specific?
I'm trying to fix
Johnny, did you ever have a favorite, like when you were playing football? Did you ever have like a
think I got
favorite combo of
Yeah,
like
music isn't playing.
pants and shirts?
Well,
No, because I wore the oldest shirt that I didn't care about because I knew I'd get it mud
sorry.
stained.
Nothing that you had.
I
like,
threw
no,
out
no
I threw out
nostalgic, no like
several
preference.
shirts.
You're the most superstitious guy I know. You didn't have like one shirt you were like, this is a good shirt. This is a good shirt
No.
to wear for these.
Actually, surprisingly, no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you would think I would have had something, but no, not really. The thing, gym shorts are so resilient. You can stain
You can-
that thing with whatever, and it'll wash out. And then I just would wear like an old like Cedarville T-shirt I didn't care about. I probably
Yeah.
threw out like a handful of T-shirts just from playing football at college,
It's probably a good thing.
which that's okay. I didn't really care about the shirt. That was the point.
Or, you know,
No
what's
outfits,
down
Josh.
I'm good. I'm
No
just chilling.
outfits.
I have like
Sorry.
5 outfits I've determined that I can wear on stream for DTS, and that's about it.
The closest thing I own that is an outfit is my suit. Because,
That is
I mean, what are you going to do with that?
Formal,
But
But
formal
that's,
that's suit in quotations and say it's not an outfit. That is an outfit.
yeah.
It coordinates. It's designed to do something.
It's just a jacket and pants. That's
It's
not an
greater-
outfit.
to match.
It's not
it's something
full.
that is. It is something that is greater
It's
than.
missing a
normal
lot.
parts.
You have to have a lot of additional pieces for a suit jacket and pants.
Hmm.
No.
I think we're far off here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go eat dinner because I'm hungry and I've had a long day. You know, the youth of America,
Mm.
they're a lot these
They.
days.
It's a lot of them. Turns out they keep making them,
They keep coming out and they keep being a lot. So
and they keep yelling at you for some reason.
they do.
Thanks, TikTok.
Thanks, TikTok.
Yes.
Hey, you know what, TikTok? Be nice to your teacher challenge. Hey, TikTok, shut up in class challenge. How about that?
That would be nice. They don't do that.
It'll do that.
All right. Good luck. Good to see you. Adios.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. You see how fancy we are? We have like this is where it's going to YouTube, and then like I can record this. And it'll just record
What
the
are
video.
you destroying now?
And then YouTube, this one's for you, but we have a special, fun little stinger. Yeah.
Oh, music's music's a ton better.
Mm-hmm. So there was your YouTube. That was your 2-second sneak peek at what our draft overlay looks like.
Lovely.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Good luck.
Enjoy dinner.
What's it called?
Oh, look at that! Look at that transition.
I didn't look. I didn't look.
Stream, here's my puppy.
Oh.
See how big
Mascot.
he's getting? He's
Look at that
huge.
cool.
He's gonna go in his crate because he keeps trying to destroy everything that I own.
That's perfect. I love that little transition thing.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Josh, I didn't text it to you because I texted it to Johnny because he's got an iPhone and it lets me send a video without making it turn into 3 pixels.
Oh, it turns into 9.5 pixels. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, so there you go, YouTube. Look forward to that.
Nice.
Well, that transition's not just for the draft, like that staying here, but anyways, I gotta fix this camera. It's driving me crazy. All right. I think I'm finally ready, guys. Sorry for the
Yeah, I'm good.
sorry for the delay, but
It's
we
all
have
good. Honestly, at this point, I feel like Archer would have done something midstream. have had to put him in his crate. So maybe the delay saved us from that.
Yeah. Hang on one second.
He always surprises me. He has like his good moments where he realizes that he needs to like sit down and be calm. And then other moments he just cannot read the room. I don't know.
All right. I'm going to record. Check 1, 2, 3. Testing. I think that's good.
I'm recording and I am good as well.
And I have a vertical overlay that's ready to go. So when we want to do something for TikTok, I just hit record and away we go.
Look at that.
So anyways, all right. Yeah, if you guys are recording, I'll get us started.
Ready to go.
Oh, let me actually record.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Welcome to the Fifth and Goal podcast. My name is Aaron. I am joined once again by my good friends Josh and Jonny. We are back for another episode. It is episode 107. Gentlemen, it's good to be back with you. We took last week off. Listeners, it's good to be with you again. You look very nice today. I'm sure. I can't see you. Maybe you're ugly, but I'm sure you look great. Yeah, I'm sure you're having a great day.
Even if you're ugly, you have the confidence. It's just inspiring, frankly. So.
That's right. Josh, what's up, man? How's your week?
Doing all right. We are in the grind session for our semester here. We have commencement in 2 or 3 weeks. I should probably figure out because I'm like half in charge of commencement, so I should figure out exactly when it is. But you know what? My boss is taking care of that, so it's in 2 or 3 weeks. I'll show up either way.
Yeah.
1 week at a time, Josh.
1 week at a time, exactly. And that week is not this week. I know that much. So we're having a good time down here.
Nice. Glad to hear it. Jonny, what's up, man? How's your week? Or 2 weeks, I guess.
Good. Oh, yeah. It has been 2 weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been good. Whirlwind.
Yeah.
I feel like the draft was something I was focusing on for a really, really long time. And then, like, maybe it's just this year the NBA first round has actually been, like, better than normal. Like, I always enjoy the NBA playoffs, but I would argue this might be some of the best first round, like, NBA playoffs we've had in a long time. And part of that's probably just the wildness of the West and the seed lines not being accurate at all as far as, like, who's the best teams.
Right.
Having the Lakers at 7, Golden State at like 6, I think, and Sacramento is actually probably where they should be, but Memphis is second, and that's wrong. And all over the place. NHL playoffs have been really, really good too.
Yep.
So all of a sudden it's draft week, and I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
have to get going. And
You're telling me.
also means Aaron Rodgers says, oh, let me steal the show. People are talking about someone other than me. I better change that.
Yeah, we'll get into all of that. Yeah, my week was also good. Yeah, I'm trying to think. You're right, Jonny. It's been 2 weeks. It's gone by really fast. I think since the last time we talked to you live, if you will, Jonny and I went to the Ohio State spring game. That was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that. Ever so slightly concerned about the Ohio State offensive line and maybe their quarterback play too, but I'll save my overreaction to a spring scrimmage another day. But yeah, my week's good. Yeah, Jonny, I'll pretend like I didn't just see you at the gym. But what you didn't know is that after I left the gym, I went to get gas. So the gym's like right by work. So I, same routine, same drive, same commute. But I got gas because, my gas tank was literally like 3 gallons until I ran out of gas. So I had to kind of go out of my way a little bit. And so to get back home, it was easier to like kind of weave through some neighborhoods. And guess what I found on my way home? I found a random park that I'd never seen in my life, and they've got pickleball courts like 4 minutes from my house, which is exciting. Am I 65? Yes, but I don't care. Pickleball's amazing. You should play it if you haven't. So that's not related to really anything this show, but there you go. There's a little tidbit. So
Aaron,
I'm
is it
pumped about
pickleball / tennis courts?
It is, yeah. So it's
that's the best.
Well, right. It's both tennis and like the pickleball courts themselves, I think were tennis, but they kind of put like the portable net that you can like stretch across, and they like painted all the lines and stuff. So it's both. There's like 4 pickleball courts, 2 tennis courts. So I'm pumped about that. When I'm not watching sports, I'll be pretty much playing pickleball. So in case you guys wanted to know my summer plans, there you go. Yeah, but my week was good as well. Enjoying all of the various weather Ohio just chooses to throw at us on a daily basis here in April, which is not the 3rd worst month in of the 12. Just throwing it out there.
It's a fine month. It's a fine month.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I remember Johnny.
You
third
wouldn't have been
worst.
saying that a
Third
couple
worst.
weeks ago. Okay, this has not been a normal April up here until like last night. It's actually been quite pleasant.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
would argue it's been way closer to June or May on a. This is, but it's not one of those
realize
years.
I'm biased because April is probably the most livable month down here in Texas because it's been 70 pretty much every day.
Nice.
But like, come on, even
Josh,
then,
geography
then,
changes the
regardless,
rankings.
even then, I loved April in Ohio. It was always top 6. It was always top
Yeah.
half.
You
At the
like
very least.
snow this time of year because you'll still get it.
We haven't
Not
yet.
always.
That's
Me
not
and
true.
Aaron
We did
thought
get
it was
it.
snowing yesterday when we were at the.
Sometimes it gets
at the
chilly. That's what
store.
it does.
Yeah.
You moved close. You chose to stay within
And
3 hours of a
It
lake,
was just
of a whole
flower
lake system.
blossoms.
That's on
Luckily,
you.
we thought it was snowing. Aaron points
Yeah.
out the window and is like,
Is it
"Johnny, it's snowing. How?" And we look out a different window and we're like, "How's it only snowing over there?" It felt like a rom-com where it's somehow only raining on the one person,
Yeah.
like, and the other person's completely dry. Yes, it was just a tree. It was just blossoms. But we clearly have PTSD from what Ohio does to
New
us.
Mhm.
growth. This is when all of the nastiness, all the dead-looking trees finally get buds and
It is
flowers
nice.
and little leaves.
Yes.
Even if
I
it's
like the
sometimes-
result of that, not the process
Yes.
of it.
You
Trust
have
the
to look at
The
process.
result
Process is
in
great.
June. June is the result.
Oh come on.
Oh man. Johnny, you were like, "What's gonna snow in April?" I'm like, "It's not gonna snow in April." And then I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, it did literally snow in April like 2 weeks ago." So
It snowed in. It's my.
It always snows in April.
Not always.
It snowed the week we were moving out of college. The one.
yeah, I can't
And
argue.
Not when I did. I waited until noon. So
Smart.
yeah.
Josh is a smart man. All right, we'll get into the actual sports conversation here, but real quick, a couple of announcements, I guess. Is that a thing we do on this show? It is today. NFL Draft Show. We talked about the draft. We will be talking about it here in just a moment, but for the third annual, I almost said third annual year. That might show where my brain's at. My brain's fried from doing draft prep.
inaugural.
Yes. Thank you, Johnny. Yes, the third inaugural Fifth and Goal Draft Show will be live during the entire first round here on our YouTube channel, the Fifth and Goal Sports YouTube channel. We encourage you to check it out. We have what we think is pretty good analysis, despite what you're listening to right now on this podcast. We're going to have guests. We're going to have a merch giveaway, so that's exciting. We'll have a bunch of other stuff going on as well. Some fun. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're definitely stepping up the production level. Not that it's been bad in the past, but yeah, we're trying some new things. So if you are watching the draft and you want to pull our stream up right next to you, and maybe you can listen to us when ESPN's on commercial, because spoiler alert, we're not going to commercial. So we'll be streaming basically 4 hours
No one wants
live.
to
So
give us
come hang
money,
out with
so
us.
We're not going to be on commercial.
Put
Exactly,
ESPN
Josh.
on mute.
Yeah,
That was the best compliment I think we got last year.
it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, truly. So Josh will be there around when Pittsburgh's making their pick. I think it's like 17 or so.
17,
So the whole gang will be there, plus some of our friends as well. So we're looking forward to it. So that's that. The second announcement is that we enjoy hearing your guys' feedback. As Johnny said, that was the ultimate compliment. One of our friends told us that, hey, I enjoyed your guys' stream so much that I muted ESPN and had you guys playing. Well, we want to get you guys more involved if that's something you're interested in. We actually have a voicemail. Again, I'm 65 because I like to play pickleball and I want you guys to leave me a voicemail, but you can leave the show a voicemail at 513-428-9347. Again, that's 513-428-9347. And yeah, you can leave us a voicemail. It'll go straight to voicemail because it's a phone number that's not connected to anybody. And leave us a question, leave us a comment that you want to play on the show. We'll literally play the voicemail on the show. We can react to it. So kind of some more like impromptu, like we kind of set up, what we're talking about in an episode, but maybe there's something you want to talk about specifically. Leave us a voicemail there. If you didn't catch that number, it'll also be in the podcast show notes. So you can check it out there, or just the description. You know what it's called. Okay,
Or
I think
if you're
that
shy and not 60, like Aaron said, you
Yeah.
can tweet us like you always have before.
That's
before
also good.
that gets run into the ground. And
Yeah,
we'll have to
yeah.
find something else.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's roll into the NFL draft. It is just a few days away. hey, maybe it already happened while you're listening to this episode, so you get to enjoy how wrong we're going to be. But we hope you enjoy our NFL draft preview. Jonny, we'll throw it over to you. I know you just finished what we thought was your final mock draft, and then lo and behold, some guy named Aaron Rodgers said, yeah, I've been talking about going to the New York Jets. I'm finally gonna do it. I'm personally surprised
about
that
him for 3 months, so
yeah,
it's
exactly
time for himself to get back in.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised this happened before the draft. I was about ready to jump on here and tell you guys, yeah, it's going to be this big question mark during the draft, and he'll figure it out weeks later. No, this happened today, Monday, as we're recording. Jonny, I'm curious your thoughts. We kind of get the trade details. As far as the draft itself, it didn't change a ton. In terms of the first round, the Packers and Jets switched their 13th and 15th picks, but kind of curious your takeaways on this being official, and then we can move on to the draft, because that's what we're here to talk about.
First thought, praise God it's over. I would like to thank my Lord and Savior
Crack
for
500, miss the playoffs again.
Oh,
yep.
He is good that this is over.
Climate.
Can we not talk about him after tonight? Aaron, I'm surprised it happened today, but I'm surprised because he hijacked the last time he did this. He hijacked the draft, dropping it like 30 minutes before the draft or whatever. I thought he might do it again this time. I'm probably being harsh with Aaron Rodgers. This actually might not have been on him because I know the compensation. I mean, he is the problem in it, but the compensation, the whole thing was the Jets were trying to protect themselves if Rodgers wants to retire at the end of this year. And so honestly, if I'm the Packers, I am very pleased with what I got in return for an old quarterback who has threatened retirement a lot. So if I'm the Packers, I'm really happy with that. As far as how this will affect the first round of the draft, let's just stick on that. We're not going to go in depth. Really, it does put the Jets potentially at risk of not getting the offensive tackle that they want. That will be interesting now. So if I can just give you a little bit of insight, we haven't published this mock draft yet and now I'm going to have to edit again, but I had the Jets taking Broderick Jones, Georgia's offensive tackle, at 13. And I therefore had the Patriots at 14 taking Nolan Smith, linebacker at Georgia. I mean, fantastic. I mean, linebacker, edge rush, it's that weird hybrid. He's fantastic getting to the quarterback, great leader on the defense. The Patriots really actually would like an offensive lineman, but Broderick Jones is kind of the last one there in the run that's worth it. Well, now with the swapping of picks there's a chance that the Patriots actually get the tackle that the Jets potentially want. Broderick Jones could actually be going to New England instead of the Jets. So there will be a very small shakeup, but it will certainly change some things that are going on in the draft. And then what does that mean for teams further down the line? Pittsburgh needs a corner and a tackle. There's this grouping, this cluster of teams that all could use some linemen who are just a little too far back. So the question is, do they trade up for an offensive tackle? That doesn't normally happen. So there's a lot of teams that, like New England, really could use one. It's not the biggest need. Houston could use another offensive lineman. Not the biggest need. Green Bay could. Bakhtiari's getting old. He never plays it. Pittsburgh, Baltimore. You can never have too many offensive linemen. That's really the lesson here. So, and there's really, in my opinion, three or four offensive tackles that are like really, really good in this first round that you'd love to have. And after that, you're reaching a little. So there's always a little reaching. You're always a little surprised. But then also you have teams stuck in the middle that maybe they just take best player available. Maybe they're looking to trade down. This is why we love the draft. We're going to be shocked by something all throughout the night. Not something, some things. There's always a mess of things that happen that are so fun. It's a great time. Watch the draft show with us. Almost every team, every fan base feels better after the draft because you got better. Even if you didn't love your draft pick, your team got better. Like I can guarantee you that. Like your team got better in some way, shape, or form after the draft.
You got to tell that to the Raiders in 2007?
Oof. Ooh.
That might be the one exception. Otherwise, Johnny, I agree. Just had to love.
But they
that
were
one over.
happy after the draft, Aaron. So
Well, that's true.
even like
That's true.
like in the immediate aftermath,
Yeah.
they were happy.
Ignorance is
So,
bliss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, speaking of maybe surprises, give me 1 second to see if I can record. Oh, it's not gonna let me record. Interesting. Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. That was the whole purpose of doing this. Too many card touches. Well, anyways, sorry, YouTube. Let me see if I can.
Is the
Try to see if I can record and stream at the same time.
YouTube, while we're waiting, you tell me
Yeah.
your most frustrating technical issue that you've ever experienced in your life. We've all been there.
Yeah.
I'm
having
has
one
it
of those
been
days,
waiting?
guys.
Has it been waiting for customer service to get back to you and you have to listen to the most annoying jingle on earth? Been there. Have you been in a drive-through line and it's one of those 2-lane ones, but they've never even greeted you, so you don't know if it's open or not? It's only like it's 9:50, so you're probably still open, but you're driving through a town you've never been before, so you're not really sure. That's happened to me. That's just fine. And you sit there awkwardly in the drive-through line waiting for someone to talk to you, and you're not sure if it's the fast food worker just being lazy. And like, if I don't talk, I don't have to like talk to them and give them food and work. Or are you just the idiot that, you're sitting there talking to no one? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but let us know. Let us know. We've all been there. It's okay. This is a safe space. And by safe space, I will empathize or laugh at you one way or the other.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to give up for now, but I'll have to keep playing around with this. Anyways, Johnny, kind of along the lines of a surprise. For a long time, and also according to your own mock draft, it looked like CJ Stroud was going to be that quarterback taken number 1. The Panthers, we talked about it a few weeks ago, moved up in the draft. They now have the number 1 pick. Within probably the last 2 weeks, the tide has changed, and Bryce Young seems to be the pretty clear and obvious first pick. And it's not so much that that's the surprise, because it was 1-2 or 1A, 1B, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. But now CJ Stroud has started to kind of slip down the draft boards, and there's a couple specific reasons why, but I'm curious if you want to elaborate on that and also what your thoughts are on this whole CJ Stroud thing. Obviously, we're Buckeye fans, so take that with a grain of salt, but I'm curious your thoughts.
Johnny, say what you want. I got a conspiracy after this.
Ooh, good.
Ooh, I love a good conspiracy, Josh. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me scream and then try to bring insane reasoning.
And then I got independent journalism here ready to go.
Amazing.
Okay, so let me give once again a little quick insight into the mock draft. Like Aaron said, was thinking Stroud would perhaps be number 1 to Carolina. Also, as a Buckeye fan, really hoping for him to go to a weak NFC South division. That would have been a really solid spot. NFL is a lot of times more about where you land compared to who you actually are. Are you surrounded with talent? Are you put in an environment where you can succeed? Him and Bryce have been so tight, though, man. No problem who you want to pick between Bryce and CJ Stroud, 1, 2, as Aaron mentioned. So Bryce seems like he's separated. He's probably going to be number 1 Carolina. Again, no problem. You figured then, Houston's going to take CJ Stroud. Like, come on, like Houston, you have to get a quarterback here. Houston is either finally being well run or throwing up smoke screens, or they're the biggest dumpster fire still in the league. And we just forget that because they're so irrelevant that nobody even bothers talking about them. They're saying basically that they're not interested. And I'm like, okay, then what are we doing here? So here's my mock draft again. I have Bryce Young right now at 1, Will Anderson at 2, which talent-wise, you won't hear an argument from me. He is fantastic. But an edge rusher, when you have no quarterback on your team, doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense. Arizona, you have Kyler Murray. You're not taking a quarterback. I'm not going to be upset with them. I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place there. And so I have the second best edge rusher, Tyree Wilson, going at 3 right now. I understand that might sound a little crazy. This is me predicting what I think will happen, not what I think should. and I have Stroud dropping at 4 to the Colts. Not terrible as far as where he ends up landing. It's not a great division. Some mock drafts have CJ Stroud dropping into the out of the top 10, all because of a stupid S2 exam, which nobody has heard about. Nobody has heard about until a week before the draft starts. And now we're coming in and doing this. And then you have Brady Quinn on the other side. Brady, I know you're a Columbus guy. You're a Dublin guy. I probably shouldn't throw any shade at you. But man, you know how this works. You cannot be throwing crap around like, oh, well, CJ Stroud just ghosted the Manning camp and didn't go. First off, this happened before his senior season. This is almost a year old. If it was a big deal, it would have been a big deal then. It clearly wasn't. And it has been also reported that he never intended to go. And he was working with their own camp at Ohio State. This is not, like, there has been no evidence of this guy having any character issues, of him not being a leader at Ohio State. And nothing, not a whisper, not a hint. Listen, it kills me that CJ never was able to beat Michigan and that we're a missed field goal away in a lot of ways of winning the national title. Maybe that fixes some of this stuff. It wasn't his fault, really, in any of those games. And he's still getting dinged for it. You have a stupid exam that they're like, oh man, Will Levis is doing brilliantly in this. All of a sudden now we're talking about Will Levis back up at number 2.
Oh, please, Johnny, please. I am so excited to tell my thing. Yes.
Fixed it. I thought everybody had come to their senses. I thought we had learned that Will Levis was at best bottom of the first round. Nope, he's back. The coffee mayo drinking kid is back, and he's probably going in the top 5. At least the top 10. I just don't understand. No football has been played. No football has been played. NFL scouts, again, Houston could be just completely gaslighting me. And if they are, I will tip my cap to them because they've finally done something smart for once and they're just trying to throw everyone off for no reason. And then I'd be like, okay, well, there's some semblance of sanity in this world, but nope, that's not happening because the Texans are run by a bunch of fools and they're going to waste an opportunity back in the future. It just, I don't understand how we do the same thing every single year when it comes to the NFL draft. There's a quarterback that there's not a whisper, and then a week or two before the draft happens, all of a sudden there's all these character assassination reports getting thrown out there. And then there's another quarterback that like, hey, I know he threw as many picks as he threw touchdowns, but did you see him throw the ball through the uprights from his knees 80 yards away?
Because that's practical.
Tell me when that's applicable during a football game. Tell me when that's applicable. I feel like I'm an insane person. I'm sorry I've ranted.
No, Johnny, I am so sorry. CJ
Stroud should be going at least number 2, and that should be the end of it. And because I think the Texans are so insane, I spent like 5 hours just on the order of this draft because the domino effect's insane.
You've become that guy and It's Always Sunny of oh my gosh, Johnny, I am so glad you said all the things you said because I'm about to make you even angrier.
Oh no.
You are not crazy. I don't have my conspiracy clock with me, but I'm going to tell you. You've heard it here, not from me first. This is not my original reporting. I have Greg Doyle out of the Indy Star to thank for this. Indianapolis, what picks do they have?
4.
Yep. So, just keep that in mind. The first people to break this story, who were they? It was Mike Lombardi.
Oh, okay.
And it was Brady Quinn.
Right.
And, by extension, Adam Schefter. Do you know, they all, not Michael Lombardi. I will say, do you know who Michael Lombardi used to work for? The Raiders. What pick do they have?
7.
So, but more importantly, Brady Quinn and Mike Lombardi, and Adam Schefter in this case. Mike Lombardi and Brady Quinn both broke the story early. Believe they I think Lombardi posted it on Twitter or something. Or was talking about, was slandering, it was 11 days ago at this point. It was insane. Now, Quinn and Adam Schefter are both represented by Creative Artists Agency, CAA. Do you know who else CAA represents? They represent 2 quarterbacks.
Oh no. Is it Young and Levis?
Oh, yeah.
It's Young and Levis.
Oh.
Oh, really?
It is.
Oh boy.
Oh. Oh, I was thinking of the other thing because
Two quarterbacks who are incentivized to boost their guys. Do you know that CJ Stroud is not a part of these guys? It gets a touch worse. Who is the big S2 guy? Bob McGinn?
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. 6 days before the NFL draft, McGinn posts all of these S2 scores. And according to McGinn, Stroud bombs this. 18% out of 100%, obviously.
Young and Levis were in the upper 90s.
98.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest year ever. Now, do you know? Oh man. This is just, and then, oh my goodness, sorry, I'm trying to do it in a way that is not going to anger everybody. We're going to grab pitchforks.
No, it's okay.
But
I got my torch ready.
Yep.
McGinn starts this. He leaks early, and in the tweet, and I saw the tweet, I think the tweet is still up somewhere. Famous people who have done well in this test. Burrow. Well, you know who Burrow is represented by? CAA. Now, is he part of this whole conspiracy? Probably not, but CAA.
Nah, Joe's a good guy. He'd never do that.
Joe's a good guy. Joe's a good guy.
He wouldn't do that to another Buckeye.
You wouldn't do that to another Buckeye. Absolutely not. But then, and here's what it is. Because what you did is you had all of these guys. You had Lombardi and you had Levy, or not Levy. You had Quinn and you had McGinn and you had Schefter putting all of these things. But this guy has terrible football IQ. This guy is a hard guy to coach. I believe that's what Lombardi or Quinn said on their podcast. This guy's not an adaptable guy. And then you have a random guy named Brandon Ally. He talks to Pro Football Focus. And he said, hey, take some of these results with a grain of salt. We have seen, and I'm quoting him, we have seen, oh, hey, so-and-so scored the lowest or highest in the class, the highest ever. And it's yeah, that's not true. That's his quote. This class as a whole, all of the guys in the discussion have scored really, really well. Well, Brandon Ally is the co-founder of S2 Cognition. So he's going out and doing damage control to make sure that Stroud doesn't drop too far. Now, I'm still trying to figure out the connections.
Well, and part of that is let's say that 18% is a real number, which I question.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're only going off of 1 or 2 guys at this
point. Yeah, but let's say just for
elite
conversation that 18% is correct, and Stroud goes out and has a Hall of Fame career, wins a couple Super Bowls. Well, then that test looks completely stupid, right?
The test is dumb.
So I understand from that perspective, maybe there is some motivation to, you're right, Josh, do some damage control.
Josh, I thought you were going to bring up the fact that Stroud is represented by the same agent as Deshaun Watson.
Oh, I did
and
not.
Therefore, the Houston Texans might not want to do business with said agent.
Oh, yes.
Now, doesn't that sound like the Houston Texans to shoot themselves in the foot?
It does.
Out of pettiness. And listen, that is not out of any defense for Deshaun Watson. That dude is scum. So, but agents are agents, man.
No, agents are agents.
It's like a lawyer. It's not a morality test, based on who he's representing.
Yeah.
You're going to shoot yourself in the foot for your quarterback just because he's represented by the same agent. That sounds really, really stupid. But that actually sounds like something Houston would do to me.
The funny thing is, again, as a Buckeye fan, I don't think I want Stroud going to Houston.
No, I don't.
There's absolutely
No,
nothing on that roster. More quarterbacks are ruined than they are made.
Yes.
I want him to go to a good place. I don't want him going to a desperate place.
I loved Carolina.
Yeah.
Frank Reich, bad conference, bad division, good beginnings of a defense in Carolina to where he's not going to just, hey, bud, go outscore everybody. Colts, the AFC South isn't fantastic, but you're still in the AFC. This is, again, selfish, wanting to see Stroud just succeed. What I wish would happen was actually that he does drop beyond Indy and he goes somewhere like Seattle and just sits behind Geno Smith. That'd be wonderful. He goes to Detroit and sits behind, Jared Goff. Heck, he goes to Las Vegas and it's still the AFC West, which is terrible, but at least he's behind Jimmy. Atlanta at 8. Sure. Again, AFC South. I'm all about it. Like, I really don't. Houston's actually the last place in the world I want him to go to. Really? And I felt similarly when Justin Fields was. No, like, get him away from the Jets, who took Zach Wilson. Like, it infuriates. It's a hard dichotomy of I'm infuriated because you're so incorrect and wrong and spreading false lies really about this guy, not only about his game, but his character. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, let him drop, man, because I don't want you to take him. So it's that weird, it's a very weird feeling. I just was cheering for him to go number 1 because then that's easy to cheer for. He gets picked top, he goes to a good spot. Everybody wins. But yeah.
I think there's also anger from us. And I know we've said this in the past, but Johnny and I literally spent hundreds of hours because we're insane watching college football this fall, right?
Yeah.
And we watched probably more. I know we watched more Kentucky football than the average person.
Yes,
or just college football in general, right? Because it's what we love to do. And so we do it. But it's just, it's a slap in the face to people like us when we see with our eyeballs that Will Levis, yes, is there potential? Absolutely. But with our eyeballs, we know that CJ Stroud is capable of making every throw on the field. We know the IQ's there because of how few mistakes he made at Ohio State. Now, did he have better, will he have better wide receivers in college than he will in the NFL? Probably, especially if he goes to Houston. Same story, you could make the same case for Justin Fields, right? He had better wide receivers at Ohio State than he's had at Chicago. Yeah. That might change this year with some of the additions they've made. So, that's a piece of the puzzle. But that's why it's like so aggravating, because you see these big wigs at the NFL, like the dude can ball, right? Like to a certain extent, we can overthink this like crazy.
Yes.
And it's partly how you see like Russell Wilson drop as far as he did in the draft. Now that's an extreme example, someone who overcame all kinds of odds where he was drafted with Seattle. But you knew he was a baller out of college. Like the dude can just play. Yeah. Give me some of those guys across all sports.
What do your eyes tell you?
Yeah.
Like, what are your... So the S2 test, this is the last thing, because I know we have other things to talk about too. The S2 test, what I've read is it's primarily supposed to be telling you about judgment on the field, right? Put on the tape for CJ Stroud's judgment and Will Levis's judgment, and you try to tell me with a straight face that test is not a farce. And whoa, before all you Will Levis apologists come after me saying, whoa, Will's playing with a terrible offensive line, look at the weapons he had compared to CJ. Granted, correct. When Will has time, he still makes horrendous mistakes. Watch the end of the Arkansas game. I can't get it out of my mind. He wasn't even throwing picks, but is holding the ball out like he's at a party. And he gets stripped back-to-back drives. If they kick one field goal, they go to overtime. They should have won the game. Forget about going to overtime. They lost in regulation because the decision-making is not there. And sometimes, you hear it all the time in other sports too. That dude's okay in practice. Man, when the lights turn on, he's all there though. Like some guys just are, and you can hear the opposite too. They're fantastic practice players. They get in the game and they're not, you hear the opposite. Like, yeah, he's fine in practice, but man, he's ready. He's a gamer when it happens. Stroud's a gamer, man. And listen, I know we just sound like we're character assassinating Will Levis. Listen, it's not personal at all.
No.
This is strictly on the field football.
No, we're gonna get off this podcast and go get dinner with him after this.
I would love that. That'd be fantastic.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I hope for Will's sake, he does drop. He goes to somewhere where he can sit behind a quarterback and learn, because he's not ready. If he goes to Houston, it will be a disaster. It will be a disaster. If he goes to Indy, it will be a disaster, because they need that guy ready right now.
Yeah.
And him and Anthony Richardson are not ready right now. I even told you I hope CJ doesn't have to start, but he's more ready to start right now than those two guys. And that's really not debatable in my mind. But that's the last I'll say about it on this podcast until we get to the draft show, and then I'll probably lose my mind all over it.
Yeah, if you want to hear us scream more about that on Thursday, then make sure you tune into our NFL draft show. Or, if you want to go back in time, maybe the draft already happened. It'll be there on our YouTube channel, along with all of our other past podcast recordings. If you're kind of a video person versus an audio person, all of our, we live stream this podcast every Monday. The replays are available on our YouTube channel, so go check that out. So lots of NFL draft. We'll be breaking it down more this week. With lots of stuff happening on our social media, so make sure you follow us there. But also happening, the NHL postseason and the NBA postseason. Unfortunately, today we kind of only have time for one, so we're going to focus more on the NBA. Although I will tell you what, guys, I absolutely love the NHL postseason. There's nothing like, well, that's not true. I almost said there's nothing like it, and then I remembered that the Duke's Mayo Bowl exists. So close second, NHL playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs. But you're right, Johnny. You said it at the beginning. The NBA postseason, round one, has been awesome. And again, it's because there's a ton of parity and weird seedings, and injuries have played a part, as they always do. But let's start with the top seed in the East. And look, we doomed them 2 weeks ago, right? We utterly doomed them because we all said either Bucks are winning or Bucks are in the championship. And now they're down 2-1 against Miami. Giannis banged up. He took a hard fall, injured his back. Miami's not healthy either. Tyler Hero is basically done. He broke his 2 fingers in his hand. But all that being said, the Heat are up 2-1 in this series as we're sitting down recording. Johnny, on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned would you be if you're the Bucks right now?
A 6 if Giannis plays tonight, which it seems like he will.
Yep.
9 if he's not playing tonight, because tonight is really the series. Like, if they lose, like, it's done. Who tweeted out that the Heat losing Tyler Hero was more significant than the Bucks losing Giannis in this series? Did you see that tweet?
I didn't see it, but I literally had the same thought. And
you agree?
I agree in terms of this year. Like, obviously, if Giannis is out for the Bucks, the thought is, if Giannis is out for the Bucks, Milwaukee could still win the series, right?
He just got announced he will play. This is like just barely an hour ago. He'll play in Game 4.
Yeah, I expected him to play.
So
I agree if you nuance it in a way that, like, because Miami was already not very deep. They're the worst scoring team in the NBA, the worst, number 30, and you're taking away one of their scorers that, in theory, can catch fire. Like, I don't know. I kind of understand it. Like, it's kind of sarcastic, but kind of true at the same time.
I thought it was utterly ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, I understand, like, Miami struggles to score, and that's why I'm only at like a 5 or 6 with Giannis playing tonight, because I think the Bucks will win. Drew Holiday's still playing really, really well. Honestly, like, obviously the number one thing is Giannis being healthy, but my close second concern is what has happened to Chris Middleton. He is evaporated. I expected Chris to be getting healthy as the postseason was coming on, and he'd ramp up as the playoffs kept going. This does not look like Chris Middleton from 2 years ago won the NBA title with this Bucks team. Milwaukee, no matter what happens in this postseason, even if they do end up winning the NBA Finals, is going to have to rework this roster. Like, Drew Holiday is clearly your number 2 with Giannis, not Chris Middleton, and you're not going to be able to afford probably Brook Lopez. So you're probably going to really honestly need to look to deal Chris Middleton and rework everything behind you on that roster after Giannis and Drew Holiday. This grouping seems to have run its course, but Miami struggles to score so much that I still think Milwaukee's going to end up winning this series. But I'm concerned about Milwaukee more going forward in this, especially a Milwaukee team that looks like they're going to run into, if they do survive the series, run into an extremely physical New York Knicks team.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think my scale would be the same. Maybe, I agree. I think that makes sense. Also, yeah, you got to get past New York, and then you're running into a juggernaut, either Philadelphia, who swept the Brooklyn Nets, or Boston, who more than likely is going to have a gentleman's sweep over Atlanta. They're currently leading 3-1. DeJounte Murray apparently just berated the ref at the end of Game 4 enough that he got suspended for Game 5.
We made contact with him.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a huge part of it too. Speaking of suspending and making contact.
Oh, yes.
Golden State Sacramento, we knew that was going to be quite the series. It has been a treat. I think both teams are probably looking at themselves in the mirror wondering, how are we not both up 3-1? They're not. It's 2-2 the series. The home team has won all 4 games. Josh, did you see the stomp? And what do you think of the resulting suspension? Was that deserved from Draymond Green?
Oh, wait, did I? I was thinking of LeBron getting hit in the groin.
Oh, well,
I thought you were going with Dylan Brooks too.
Okay, all of the above. We'll start with that. Lakers up 2-1 on Memphis. Speaking of contact and flagrant twos, sure, that also happened.
They'll score 35-9 in the quarter.
Yeah,
the biggest I'm them performance. I loved it. Just don't poke LeBron. Please don't.
Yeah.
Or please do.
Or please do. Dude's only,
let a 38-year-old man just in his 20th NBA season just still destroy you.
Let him live, please. He's got 1 or 2 more seasons left. No, I have not looked at this stomp. Draymond Green, you said?
Yeah, check that out. That's Game 2.
Live reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Live
well,
reaction.
Let's go back to that Dylan Brooks thing, because it was all, you could almost see it coming, right? Because Dylan Brooks, Memphis wins Game 2. They look good. They're, kind of pounding their chest. And Dylan Brooks is Josh, like you said, throwing all this trash at LeBron. And I'm just sitting to myself chuckling because I know the result. We've seen this, you're right, for 20 years. We know what's going to happen. LeBron's not going to respond verbally. He's just going to take it out on the court. And you're right, the Lakers are up 35-7 in the first quarter.
Goodness.
And a big part of it was Dylan Brooks shot him out of the game. He wouldn't stop shooting.
What's Johnny, maybe you can answer this because I don't have an answer for this. What is the advantage of Dylan Brooks doing what he did? And that's all inclusive of both his trash talk before Game 3. I understand some guys pump themselves up by trash talking. Maybe that's true of him. But if anything, it's putting an even bigger target on a Memphis team that was down jaw in Game 2. Lots of injury concerns. They're deserving of the 2 seed, had an excellent year, but they are just crippled with injuries. The depth, especially at the big man, is concerning. I don't think there's any way the Grizzlies win this series.
No.
We were kind of doubtful of it before. But you couple that with the flagrant 2. I got to think Memphis Grizzlies fans are over this guy. I get it. Yeah. Golden State Warriors, just because he's on their team, they, for the most part, love Draymond. He could do whatever he wants. I mean, they won 4 championships, so that helps. But I got to think Grizzlies fans, they're like, Dylan Brooks, get out of here, man. You're not helping. You're making things worse.
So every great team usually has that guy who's right on the line, right? And sometimes he crosses it, but most of the time he's right there. And that's Draymond. That's Dylan Brooks. I would argue that's actually even a Marcus Smart on the Boston Celtics. Now, Marcus is more nuanced and under more control.
Every team, even Milwaukee, when they won it, Bobby Portis kind of fit that role, right?
Yeah, it obviously it's a range. They're not all the exact same players. Those San Antonio teams are who was it on there? Maybe Bowen? I don't know.
Probably.
But the big thing, I'll start with this. Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks, you can't cry foul. You can't. I don't know. And all these media personnel, how on earth was he suspended? Because it doesn't happen in a vacuum. The NBA even said it. They basically told everyone, we wouldn't have suspended Draymond if it wasn't Draymond. Like anybody else does that, we probably don't suspend him. Your history matters, as it should. It did not happen in a vacuum. You did not, he's holding onto his foot. I wouldn't even argue whether he was or not. Let's assume he was.
Let's assume
You
he
didn't
was,
need to
It's
curb stomp him
No.
to get out of that.
That was
it
an
was
emotional
completely unnecessary
reaction.
and unneeded, which is
It was-
who he is,
Yes.
which is what they need. But the problem is, when you live by that, you will die by that. And
Absolutely.
Memphis poked the bear of Golden State the same way last year. They still haven't learned their lesson. They are immature kids that just can't get out of their own ways. I'm not saying they would have won that series or they would win this series if they didn't do that, but they're only making it harder on themselves. So they just one of the things when you're predicting coming into a league season, which teams were the noisiest?
Yeah.
And this is especially true in the NFL. Who was super noisy? It was the Cardinals last year. They imploded. They were so noisy. The Packers, so noisy. Terrible. They both imploded. The Grizzlies won't shut up. And the NBA regular season does not matter. This is the equivalent of imploding, as the Cardinals did really this season in the NFL after making the playoffs the year before. So get out of your own way, man. You hype yourself up that way. Every team needs a tough guy. I get that. But what purpose are you serving, as you mentioned, Aaron?
Yeah, I just don't get it.
And LeBron, to his credit, is just like, oh, okay, he said whatever he said. They even asked him do you feel like you send a message? He's like, I'm 38. I don't send messages anymore. Like, LeBron didn't even care. This wasn't like a Michael, and that's why I dropped 50 on you.
Right.
Like, LeBron's like,
and I took that
whatever, kid. Like, go home.
Hey,
This
he
is
gave him a talking
for the
to.
grown men.
He gave him a talking to before the game.
Yep.
Dylan Brooks then got 7 points and an ejection. So you know what? That's how LeBron does it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Just as effective.
This
will
team
always
is
give Draymond
desperately
credit
missing
for
Steven
this.
Adams. Like, yes, you can talk about many, many injuries on this team. Because Steven Adams is both an exceptional leader, a guy you don't want any part of because his screen will, you run into a screen set by Steven Adams. He's Aquaman and you'll descend into Middle Earth. And Memphis, I'm going to make it sound like I dislike this Memphis team, and I really don't, but it's just an extremely immature team, especially without Steven Adams. And that's really showing up. Like, talent-wise, even despite the injuries, like, they should, in theory, compete with the Lakers okay, right? I know no one can really guard Anthony Davis on that team very well, to a certain extent. But it's just, I don't know, it's just an immature team. So that's my thoughts there.
At least Draymond, the last thing was, at least Draymond owns it.
Yeah. He does.
Like, he owns it. Dylan Brooks wouldn't take the interview after that game 3.
Oh no.
You have to take the interview.
You have to.
That's
Suck it up.
If you're going to be this guy, well, you don't have to take the interview, Josh. But if you're going to be this persona, you have to take the interview.
Yep.
Draymond would have taken that interview.
Yeah, he would.
Like, Draymond owns it.
Yeah.
I
Draymond
don't
would have taken the
love the
interview and
guy.
spewing a bunch of nonsense, but at least he takes the interview and you're right, lives up to that.
Draymond is Draymond. You can't argue that the dude's not authentic.
Yep.
I would argue Dylan Brooks is trying to be someone.
Yeah. And his game doesn't back up his trash talk, right? Like, that's the thing that ultimately comes back to me. Like, hey, if you're going to trash talk, like, I mean, I like a guy like Lance Stevenson trash talk like crazy, but it was almost
That was hilarious.
funny, right? Yeah, it was just different. I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, we've probably spent too much time talking about Dylan Brooks when there's been a lot of other incredible postseason basketball being played. But obviously, we'll get more into it. We'll have some draft recap next week. But as these playoffs keep rolling on, we'll talk about it more. Johnny, I know your Cavs are hanging on by the skin of their teeth, and they're going to need another miracle, which seems unlikely at this point. But
no, they'll win Game 5, but that's it.
Yeah. All right. So that takes us to picks of the week, and I'm a terrible podcast host and forgot to even include this in the show notes. So everyone's typing in their answers right now, which is exciting. But again, it's been a couple weeks since we've had picks of the week. We picked the results of the NBA Finals, so no change to our scoreboard. It still reads myself with 60, Jonny with 54, Josh with 53. Guys, I don't know what to make of this because I thought I came up with decent question, right? How many wide receivers will be taken in the first round of the NFL draft? I'm saying 3, which is probably low, but I think that in the panic of all these teams trying to grab these 4 quarterbacks in the first round, some of the teams that could probably get a wide receiver are instead going to make some moves, maybe move up for quarterback, whatever the case. And people are going to forget about Zay Flowers from Boston College because he played for Boston College and probably no one watched him.
It's the truth.
He's exceptional. Whatever team gets him is, wow, good for them. So I'm saying 3. Josh, would you care to explain your answer?
Oh, so I didn't start it, Jonny.
Well, then Jonny, yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
So I have 3.5. In reality,
I mean, it is whoever's closer. So I guess we're kind of doing the Price is Right thing here,
We're
right?
doing the Price is Right.
So I'll change it to 4.
No, you do whatever you want. I'm not.
I
here
only
to
had.
judge.
No, you do.
I
No,
only-
no, we are arbitrary and capricious.
Yes.
Someone is going to draft one half of a receiver.
Well, if they're drafted 32nd since the Dolphins lost their first round pick, does that count as the half?
You know what? If they're
Because
I
there's
see what
not
you're
a
thinking.
32nd
How about
pick,
this?
actually,
Correct.
I guess. So,
Yeah.
you know.
No, but no. If someone in their how about this, Jonny? If someone in their 12th pick, if the 12th pick drafts a wide receiver, and then the net total is still 3 wide receivers.
The 12th, right? That's realistic.
half?
I mean, it's Houston. They could. But here, I agree with Aaron in a sense. But there's too many wide receivers that I see thrown out across mock draft after mock draft after mock draft for me not to believe that there's probably 4 here. I think Smith and Jigba's obvious home run. I don't have Jordan Addison in my first round, but he's probably taken in the first round. Quentin Johnston's probably borderline, as is Zay Flowers, as is Jalen Hyatt. And out of those 5, I believe that there are probably 4 of them taken in that first round. Even Josh Downs could be surprised up there at the top. So after Smith, I will say this is actually probably the weakest wide receiver draft in the last 5 years. So that doesn't mean these are bad wide receivers. There's just not like the guy in this draft class. So that's why we're having a hard time understanding how many. I'll adjust my number to 4 though.
Okay. Josh, please don't adjust your number.
My number is going to stay where it is, like it should be, at 4 5/8.
I love it.
It's fantastic. I saw we could do fractions, and so I got really excited. So 4 5/8.
Amazing.
So realistically, round up to 5, or 4 quarterbacks and still be 4 wide receivers, and a wide receiver will come out of the 58th pick. Why not?
Oh, there you go. Josh, I'll give that to you. If you get 4 wide receivers and then you get, there's a wide receiver drafted at 58.
Who's 58? Like right now, obviously that might change at this point, but
yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. That's
you only have it memorized up to 40.
Yeah.
Well, the whole Dolphins thing also throws off my normal
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah. Because are we skipping that number, or is it 31 draft picks and then round 2, the first pick is pick 32?
That's a great question.
I feel like it should be the
what I
second
would
way.
think-
Yeah.
That's how I would think you would do it. It's still pick 32, but it's round 2.
Right.
So
Or the
that's
ultimate
weird.
pettiness by the NFL is like, hey, Miami, it's your turn. Who are you going to
Guys,
draft? Nobody.
This is perfect. I didn't check this beforehand. Do you know who got the 58th
That's what I
pick?
thought they do.
Does Pittsburgh have the
second
58th pick?
No, it's Dallas.
Well, they would
might.
draft a wide receiver.
It
Yeah.
actually might. I'm locking it in.
Oh,
All right.
See, the problem for Dallas is they actually are who I think might take Jalen Hyatt in the first round. So
Oh, interesting.
doesn't that feel very Dallas? Who's the fastest wide receiver in the draft?
Yeah.
That guy. We'll take him.
Yeah.
Just like him.
Nice. I like it.
All flash.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of all flash, it is time. I don't know if that's a good segue, but it's time for what we're following. Guys, I can start. I've got a couple of things. One sport and one is not. So I'll start with the sports thing real quick. Just get that out of the way. We're generally an anti relocation podcast, partially because of our own personal experience with the Columbus Crew. But the bottom line is we just don't like to see franchises ripped away from their fans. It's just generally a lose for the fans and a win for billionaire owners. Now, there's a move coming in Major League Baseball. It was kind of solidified this week. If you follow us on social media, we got a quick video out there just describing what's happening. But the Oakland Athletics will be the Las Vegas Athletics. It's only a matter of time. At the latest, it sounds like 2027. Essentially, the franchise came into a contract agreement with the city of Las Vegas for land to build a new stadium. And we've kind of seen this coming for a while. This has been a 20-year kind of back and forth with the city, trying to get them to essentially chip in for a stadium or upgrades to their dilapidated stadium. It's been back and forth. I still feel for the Oakland fans, but overall, I do think this is probably a good thing for the sport of baseball as a whole. Doesn't mean the Oakland Athletics fans are feeling any better about it, but I think it's okay because, number one, as I mentioned, that stadium is just completely falling apart. Fans were not going to games. Yeah, literally it was overrun with possums. There's sewage leaks constantly. There are all kinds of problems. It's a disaster. No one was going to games because, number one, the stadium is bad. Number two, the product was really bad. A billionaire owner was spending a whopping, and by whopping, I'm saying that very sarcastically, $58 million on the roster. That is nothing. So Las Vegas will be a facelift. They will spend money. It will be a state-of-the-art stadium. And look, there's other places in the country other than Las Vegas that probably deserve a team more. Like throw a team back, and maybe those teams will get it. I know there's talks about expansion franchises 31 and 32. Maybe Montreal gets a team again. That would be awesome. Any number of locations. The bottom line is I think I'm actually okay with this because it was just a bad relationship for 20 years, and it's finally coming to an end. And in that way, there's a little bit of closure. It's better for baseball. There will be some interest in Las Vegas for this. They already support their AAA team fairly well. So that's news. It's just something I'm following. It's happening.
Aaron, do you think they changed their name?
I don't. I think they will just be the Las Vegas Athletics because it is this. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of tend to think that because they were the Philadelphia Athletics, like wherever that franchise has moved, they've just kept that mascot. So my guess is they kind of just keep it. And maybe kind of as a way to Vegas is not that far, relatively speaking, from Oakland. So maybe a way to kind of keep the fans.
Poor Oakland.
I feel
that's
that,
their third team.
It is.
Third team.
Yeah. So that's the stinky
city.
part about it.
We don't get political on this show, but this city has objectively, time and time again, resisted the idea of investing in sports. And I realize we've talked about this on the show, I'm sure. There is a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens when you're trying to build a stadium. Yep. If you can't guarantee fans, it sometimes can seem like a risky gamble to give that many tax incentives off or any sort of tax breaks. Like I get that if you're not guaranteeing a return, it doesn't always improve the area. But at this point, Oakland has demonstrated they are some of the most resilient. Like I know we talk about Cleveland fans and Earns, like very resilient fans, very, very consistent fan base up and down. Oakland's up there, man. They've had a run of it, and I feel nothing but not pity. That's too demeaning. Like hope that maybe in another few years y'all can get something at some point. Yeah. Don't let anyone, because the attendance has been bad, but don't let anyone tell you that it's because there's no fan support. That's just simply not true. Not in the least.
False. Yeah, that's false.
Yeah, it's because it's a bad stadium, and
they've been going there with
fall through a bleacher. Yeah,
yeah.
There's raccoons in the press box. Like,
they literally
accidentally fall through a bleacher. Like,
that's crazy.
Did you see they had possums in the broadcast booth last year, and how to fix it? They're like, oh, he'll probably die in the off season. No, you idiots! The raccoon. I mean, they're possums.
Yeah.
They don't just die. Hire someone.
Yep.
Jeez.
They do two things. They play dead and they do something else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Raccoons Stadium now.
Yep.
No, raccoon, possum.
And
Jeez.
honestly, both. They probably are
Sorry,
there
that's
too.
my fault.
Both.
I said raccoon, and that's a Parks and Rec bit, and
All
But
vermin.
it's the same. But
all
that's
vermin
it's
own
literally the bit, though, Josh. You're right.
it's literally the bit.
Yeah.
They hunt the
Anyways.
children for sport. Yeah.
Oh,
baseball team.
gosh.
They're next.
Yeah, actually. So not sport related. So Josh, you're a man of culture. You're one that peruses TikTok. Have you stumbled upon water talk?
Oh my gosh, yes, please talk about water talk. Talk about how fake
Yeah, and
water
I'll
talk.
I'll
I'm gonna tell you,
explain this.
I got a water here, by
Yeah.
the way, just for the sake of the viewing audience.
Uh-huh.
So get on the stream. It's just water. I put water in, like we have a water fountain. I just put water in.
Nice. Amazing.
And that's what I thought water chalk was. People go,
yeah.
oh, it's like the design. You know, mine. I have stickers on my bottle. You know,
do.
I've got Prism mic. It's fantastic. The worst part of Prism was the dimensions. It's great. It's a great joke. That's what I thought water chalk was, but it's not. Aaron, tell us what water chalk is.
Yeah, I'll explain this for Johnny and for anyone that has no idea what Josh and I are talking about. So my wife introduced me to this because I don't actually scroll through TikTok that often. My wife has a very good curated selection that we usually, just enjoy watching together at the end of the day. And so I saw this TikTok, and it's people. How do I describe this? Josh, I'm glad you know what I'm talking about because you can help me describe this because it's hard to accurately portray what I saw. But it's people taking water and dumping just every substance they can
Everything
find,
into it.
and like whether it's like syrup or like this really like sugary powder, they're just dumping it in there and they're mixing all these flavors together. And you know what we've invented, Josh? And by we, I mean not us. I mean the people at Water Talk.
The good people at Water Talk.
We've reinvented soda.
Soda.
They're just carbonated water away. Like you just completely like, and
this is what they've done. Here's what they've done, and I know this because working at Starbucks when TikTok popped off.
Oh yeah.
It's a secret menu all over again, but it's cheaper because now. So when the secret menu TikToks for Starbucks were coming out, unofficial, Starbucks would never. Some of these like preteens would build like a $9 drink that they would daily.
Oh.
And it was the venti white chocolate mocha with caramel drizzle on the side of the cup, extra foam, extra drizzle on top, usually an extra shot and an extra few pumps of the white chocolate in the thing. It was like 1 billion calories. It was 3 shots of espresso. And these 9-year-olds are daily in this thing. And I'm like, first off, you're too rich for this. Second off, you're going to die tomorrow. But what has happened is I think their parents went, hey, you can't do this. This is like insane. You can't do a daily. And then, so it started then.
Also, you don't need this yet.
No, it then started
You
with
still believe in the goodness in the
world. Yes. And then I
started
watching
pain and hatred.
You have to,
before
I
you can need that
did my
daily
time.
coffee.
I earned my daily coffee. I wrote 2 10,000-word essays on passages in the Bible this year. I earned my daily
true suffering.
You have to actually earn this. You 12-year-old who still gets his mom to pay for his V-Bucks.
Oh, got him.
So what has happened now is like people started making their own iced coffees at home. I saw all those iced coffee builds. Same thing, same amount of sugar, but you're making it yourself, so you're saving like a third.
Right.
You're like it's a third of the price. Now it's like, oh, here's my water, and I'm gonna add 4 packets of the Kool-Aid like instant mix you get like when you were 12. You remember being 12 and having all the fun, and then they're adding like these like pina colada like syrups.
Yep.
And then it's this full, like it's a 32 ounce or like even larger, like a 64 ounce, because everyone has these massive Stanley things.
Correct.
Like first, also side note, straight to jail. Anybody who thinks that their Hydro Flask or their like Stanley is any better. I should have brought my own Stanley. I have a Stanley.
Oh, do you really, Josh?
From 1988. I bought it at an antique store like a man.
That's amazing.
This guy. Okay, never mind, Josh. You're real.
Get out of jail free. Yeah, you are.
Thank you. No, I have a real Stanley. Not one of these like, oh, it's got a straw. No,
right.
Mine's dinged up and dented because I took it camping. You understand?
Nice.
We're not the same.
Yeah. Can I tell you how much it saddened me that I was making some graphics for the NHL playoffs, and when I just didn't even think about it, just typed in Stanley Cup and just figured I'd get all the images, and I got like 1 or 2, and the rest were just I was devastated. But Josh, you bring up a good point with all the stuff that they're putting in water. They're calling it water though, so it's healthy. It's not like
It's
make your own
not.
soda talk. It's water
Oh,
talk. So you
water
can just
talk.
put whatever you want in it, and it's
It's
water.
not water talk. It's arguably
Because
more
it's water based, it's still healthy.
It's more sugar, and it's more sugar. Yeah. Do you know what else is water based? Every soda. Sorry, I don't mean. I don't. I mean.
So is every
I might be
drink.
clipping. I'm sorry
Every
if
drink
future
is
Aaron, if I'm
water-based.
clipping. Every
Even
drink's water-based.
milk.
Yeah, that's true.
Even milk is water based.
Yeah. Josh, you talked about the bit from Parks and Rec. It brings up another bit from Parks and Rec
Yes,
where they're like it's like water zero or something, and it's
Water
because
zero
there's
di-
0%
yeah, water
water.
zero diet light. Yeah.
Yes.
Only 60 calories.
That's what we've done. So, Johnny, I know we both enjoy it. All three of us. We enjoy a good soda from time to time.
Oh, yes.
Turns out you can enjoy it more if you just dump a bunch of
I've
stuff in
made
water
hot-
and call
Listen,
it water.
I'm not above making hot Dr. Pepper and drinking it on the show.
It has been done.
Hot Dr. Pepper.
You
did-
remember
we did
it.
this, Johnny.
We did this, Johnny. It's like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Dr. Pepper. Listen, I've been in Texas too long. I know all the Dr.
Hot-
Pepper secrets.
Hot Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, hot Dr.
That sounds
Pepper.
awful.
They realized that Coca-Cola. I'm gonna do it. You know what? I'll save what I'm following. Oh, spoiler alert. Here's what I was following. Welcome to Chess Heads. ABC made a nightline of this whole chess scandal. So go watch it on Hulu. Okay, back to Dr. Pepper. So the crazy thing about Dr. Pepper
Oh, that was it.
is they realized also the Florida Gators had a really bad spring game. They have
Yes,
no
they did.
quarterback.
Oh,
No quarterback or
yes.
the best defense ever.
I love
Hopefully it's the
how
best
you just
defense ever.
inserted that out of nowhere into this conversation.
Yes. I wanted to catch the thing.
Also,
My
Florida
plan was
sucked.
also Florida's also they're not chomping anything. I was going to talk about actual sports this time. I had planned an actual sports what I'm following, but no, we have to talk about Dr. Pepper again because they're insane. What they did is like they realized that no one was buying Dr. Pepper in the winter because it's cold. And when you're cold and it's winter and it's Christmas time, what are you buying? You're buying a Coca-Cola because of Santa, because of the polar bears.
Right.
Yes.
And so Dr.
Those
Pepper went,
polar
oh my
bears.
gosh, we can't sell. We can't sell Dr. Pepper. It's going bad. We have to find a way for people to drink this because they have this, and I found this out down here too. They have the 10-2-4 rule. Back in the 40s, they would advertise, hey, drink 3 Dr. Peppers a day, one at 10 a.m., one at 2 p.m., one at 4 p.m. Next time you come down to Waco, it's right across from Magnolia.
It is.
We'll send your wife into Magnolias for a few hours. We're gonna go to the Dr. Pepper Museum, and you're gonna see the 10-2-4 slogan. It was like drink 3 Dr. Peppers a day, because that'll be the energy boost you need because it had sugar in it.
Yep.
That'd be a cure-all.
It's a cure-all. No, it was the 40s. You could say anything about anything.
It was a cure-all.
It was a it was
Should
it
go
was a
back to the
it was
10.
it was a diet aid. So that way you
10-2-4
didn't eat
rule.
fatty foods. You would drink this thing of sugar 3 times a day, and that helped you with weight loss. Because you could say
You
anything in
just
the 40s.
didn't need any.
They didn't take business ethics classes back then. It didn't matter. You just said something that sounded cool. So in that vein, they're like, oh my gosh, no one's buying Dr. Pepper in the winter. What are we going to do? And they're like, well, what if we just heat it up? And they're like, Johnson, that's a brilliant idea. You're promoting. So what the recipe was just pour a bottle of Dr. Pepper into a like a stovetop like pan or whatever. Put a lemon in it. Heat it up until it's just
Healthy.
about hot, like tea.
Fruit. Healthy.
Fruits, healthy. Or no, I'm sorry. You would put the lemon, slice of lemon at the bottom of your mug. You would heat the Dr. Pepper up to about, almost boiling. You'd pour it over into the mug with the lemon in it, and it was this great winter treat. Except it wasn't, because I tried it on stream and it was disgusting. It's hot Dr. Pepper. It's not fizzy. It's thick and syrupy. 'cause it's
Aaron,
reduced a
I'll
little
drink
bit.
some hot Dr. Pepper if you beat me in the draft.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I'll-
Loser
I'll
drinks
Dr.
hot
Pepper
Dr.
ready.
Pepper. Done.
Yeah.
All right.
I love
And
this.
I'll just go buy a lemon and Dr. Pepper like tomorrow, so I just have it at.
You're just ready to
All
go.
right.
So if I lose, I'll just
'Cause
do
it's-
it immediately.
It's a win-win. Either we win by you eating or by you drinking hot Dr. Pepper, or you win, you get a nice Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's
I
easy.
don't have to put the lemon in it.
You don't have to put the lemon in it.
Yep.
Lemon should not be in
No,
Dr. Pepper.
23 flavors, not 24 flavors. What are you talking about?
Yep.
24.
Josh, this does remind me, and it is also partially what TikTok sometimes might be the bane of my existence. Even though I'm not even on it, because it gets onto Instagram Reels like 2 weeks later. I know, guys,
Yep.
I'm old, I'm lame. I won't get on TikTok. Also,
You
because
sent me all the
the
reels that I
best-
saw 6 months ago.
Right,
It's fine.
but the best stuff
what we
eventually
do is
makes
I
it to
don't- yeah.
Instagram. This
Here
is
it
like
is.
streaming anymore. People don't have to watch the premiere of the show live. They just watch it eventually.
And I
So
will say,
that-
TikTok, when it gets shut down, Johnny, you will feel no remorse whatsoever. So probably good on you. For
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't, screw the whole, it's better to have loved and lost than not loved at all. Nah, not loved at all. Much better. But it does remind me of a video of somebody chopping up cookies and then they put them in a bowl of milk and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like they're using them as cereal. Like that's pretty cool. No, they like mixed it up and then they poured it like batter into the oven and then they baked it again. No, not into the oven. Then they put it on a pan and made it like into a pancake type of thing because they added some flour to it. And you're like, okay, like that seems like a completely unnecessary way to make chocolate chip pancakes, but fine. But then they chopped them up again and then they baked them and they were just cookies again. And I hate food Instagram reels now and TikTok because I can't tell if these kids are trying to gaslight me or if they're seriously just don't know. And no, I won't get into it. But lastly, on the topic of just
real
inedible.
quick, by the way,
yeah.
So on the subject of food and betting, if you don't like the Dr. Pepper idea, the loser could take the cookie dough out of cookie dough ice cream and have to make a cookie with that.
Oh,
Okay,
I
we
like
could do
that.
too. That's pretty good too.
All right,
I think we should
Sorry,
just
sorry
do
to
that. I
interrupt.
think we should just do that one anyway.
All right,
I was
all right.
worried
That's
you were about to
fantastic.
tell me that I would have to eat what I'm about to explain to you guys next, and that is a peanut butter cup.
Okay.
And this
Guys,
this is worse than all the rest. It is, and it is an atrocity. And you know
truly
what? I pretty much agree with the first comment on the video of, first off, we have a segment on the show that's called Straight to Jail.
Yep.
The other one, but this guy said prison or hell, man, one or the other. And you know what? At first, it seems like an exaggeration. See that this Reese's peanut butter cup is filled with baked beans. They made a Reese's peanut butter cup with filling of baked beans, and my heart can't take it, and my mind can't wrap itself around it. It's too horrible. I won't share the video because I don't want anyone else to experience
I'm watching
what
it
I have
now.
seen,
I'm
except
just
for
gonna-
you two, because you two have to live in this space with me.
Yeah, we do.
So yes,
Why?
that was. Oh,
Why?
kids, ask your parents how to make food and how food works. And if you don't, send us a tweet. I will literally make a video and put it on Twitter on the
Wow.
official Fifth and Goal Sports account
Amazing.
of me making food. If
Do
you
it, kids.
need help,
Do it, kids.
I will do it. Whatever it takes to stop this madness. And for some reason, Instagram now thinks that this is all I want to see. So it's worse. Lastly, now that we've gotten completely off the rails, let me try to rein it in and talk about how horrible the Blue Jackets are in 2 minutes. My sports teams hate me currently. Blue Jackets real bad, but not bad enough. They're bad at being bad. So therefore, two games left in the NHL. It's a lottery for the top pick. There's, an all-time talent potentially in Connor Bedard at the number 1 pick. It's lottery, so you're not for sure getting the number 1 pick if you have the worst record. But they had controlled their destiny to finish last. And they played Johnny Gaudreau, their best player, like the most minutes he had the whole season. They win the freaking game against the Penguins, the only time they'll ever beat the Penguins. They're bad at being bad. Everyone should be fired. The owners don't care. The front office is a joke because they think they're successful for winning 1 playoff series in 10 years. Fire everyone. We could get Connor Bedard and we'll still ruin them. And the fans don't deserve this. They still had sellouts all
Yeah.
throughout the season.
Fans are amazing.
With this team being so terrible. Oh, they don't deserve it. So that was my quick 2-minute rant about the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets fans, I feel ya. I'm sorry. I would do something if I could. If you need comfort food, though, don't go to TikTok to help. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go anywhere else and
Yeah.
anywhere.
Come to me. I'll make you a thing.
Nice.
I don't know what it's gonna be. Probably just like noodles, but like
Our Twitter account's going to turn into
it's
like
less
somehow
toxic.
like
It's less toxic than a peanut butter cup.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Josh, it's very kind of you. I will be on my way to receive some noodles here shortly.
I made some chicken cutlets.
Dude, I
the other
wish,
day.
man. I wish ituld be that easy.
Yes.
But anyways, we do get to see each other. The three of us get to spend time together, which that's
Yes,
dangerous
we
to
will.
society here in well, maybe even this week, actually.
Yeah.
Possibly. That's pretty wild. So anyways,
Oh,
Mhm.
right.
yeah. So look out, world. But-
Next week, technically, but yes.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Oh wait, no, this week. This week, by the time you're listening, or not, do what you want to do. Don't. I know
Weeks
you-
are
a lot of you-
arbitrary.
Weeks are time is relative. I know, but I know all of you guys are waiting for that drop every Wednesday. So
Yeah, which my bad on it being Thursday most days most weeks last month, but we're getting back on the routine. There's a lot of basketball to watch, so and just other stuff happening. Yeah, I think that wraps us up. I will say, I hope you guys enjoyed. We took last week off. We had some just scheduled stuff going on, but it was fun putting together the like best of what we're following, and it truly was a reminder that most of our conversations, both on this show and off of it, just revolve around food. So that was fun. I think my favorite one of all was when Jonny just had this like breakdown because he couldn't understand how like someone figured out how to toast. Like it was just bread that was baked
What?
and then baked again. Like you were just like shook. Like how did that happen?
I don't even remember that.
I know.
It's bread that
Yep.
we made soft.
With the cookies?
We're gonna do this again, Johnny. I love it.
Yeah.
The same
Which
thing?
reminds me, because like obviously I go back and edit the show every week, but you guys don't have to worry about that. So I feel like there's details that just kind of like you just don't remember them, right? If I can get to it next week or at some point, I want to do, for what I'm following, I want to do show trivia where I bring up stuff from the past and see if you guys
no.
like can answer trivia questions. I think it'd be awesome.
No.
So that might be
It
coming
literally
soon.
could be like, Johnny, did you say this?
Right.
No, I'd never say that.
Right.
I have no clue.
yeah.
Johnny,
So-
which country did Josh think was really close to?
Yeah, right.
Oh gosh,
Episode
I feel like
one.
I should remember that one though.
Like
That was
well,
pretty
here's
rough.
one.
I gotta
Who
be-
scored
I-
the very first point in our standings?
Oh,
Josh.
Josh, what's your answer?
I feel like
I'm just saying, Josh. It's my gut.
there's no way I got it right off the bat. Let's go Aaron, actually. Is
Josh,
this-
it was you. I need to go back
Oh,
and
was
see
it?
what we picked, but yeah,
Yeah.
Josh, you got the
Knew
very
it all
first
along.
point. Yeah, actually, I think it was NFL related. It might have been Super Bowl. I don't know. Whatever. We'll play trivia later. Hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy the basketball. Enjoy the football. Enjoy all of it. You know how it goes. And we'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll talk to you guys soon. Catch the draft show. Leave us a voicemail. Again, that's in the show notes there. So I'd love to hear from you guys, and we'll literally have you on our show, kind of. And time's relative. All right, get out of here. See you guys. YouTube, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back. Again, as I mentioned, for you guys as well. We'll be back.
I love you
on
just
Thursday.
commanding the audience. Okay, get out of here. Leave.
Yep, get out of
We're
here.
not talking to you anymore.
Yep, we're done.
That was our most off the rails episode, at least in a long time.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know if maybe ever, but we were mostly screaming about sports
Yeah,
Mostly sport.
until I remember the peanut butter cup.
Till we remember the peanut butter. Till we remembered hot Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Aaron, did you hear what I was telling Josh about the spaghetti, the hamburger meat earlier?
Oh, I'll send that video too.
Oh, that's
Oh, you
concerning.
you have that one too?
Oh yes, Kay does it all.
Oh,
This is
Josh,
a
the
common
spaghetti
troll
was
recipe.
never cooked. You just had hard spaghetti in the middle of that dish. The only thing that was kind of worse was the people who bought like 10 Big Macs and then still
Oh.
like put more cheese and
Uh-huh.
sauce and like
They made like a Big Mac
Oh,
lasagna.
my favorite is it's
Yeah.
always the same commentary. Like, this is so simple, it's so inexpensive,
It just
it's
takes two
delicious,
ingredients.
it's
Yeah.
good for me. I'm like, that is not good for you. Get out of here with this. You think just because you made it in your oven, it's naturally like all of a sudden good for you. Like, listen, I make mac and cheese and chicken nuggets all the time. I don't pretend
Amen.
like that's good for me.
Amen.
Yeah. All right, YouTube. I have I got to go because I have all the things to do in preparation for Thursday. So, but thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys. Yeah, we'll see you guys Thursday. Hope you guys hang out with us during the first round. We'll start streaming about probably 7:45, and we'll stream literally through the end of the first round. So, yeah, I got to figure out. So my wife will be like, our room is like back that way, so I got to figure out how to soundproof this room better. So I literally might have like a box spring behind me. So you can look forward to that. There you go. All right, see you guys. As I told the podcast, get out of here.